Hi, my name's Jack Soul. Thanks so much for stopping by this YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Today's video is going to be all about Chase Bliss stereo reverb. Now, I've heard it that some people don't feel as though they have room on their pedal board for such an experimental device as these three on the table are, but I'm going to make a case today that if you have a reverb pedal on your pedal board, any one of these could easily swap out to take that position of the reverb, and it can do some really other neat experimental things as well. So during this video, I'm going to show you a ambient reverb on all of these Chase Bliss pedals, a more room style reverb, and an experimental reverb that kind of combines some of the pedal's other capabilities with the reverb function. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video where we'll have our subscribers only second round conversation. I'm really excited about this conversation today, so stick around for that. But for now, let's get on with the video. Okay, so signal chain is my None Jazz Master. Going into the JHS Morning Glory for some overdrive, and then into the Lost and Found. Then it goes stereo into the Lossy, Mood, and the Iridium, and out to the interface. Now, they all have the spread knob engaged, so we're going to get as big of stereo field sound as we possibly can. And here's what the dry signal sounds like. So, like I said, we're going to start with ambient reverb. And I have one pulled up on each of the pedals here, and the settings are as you see them on the pedal. So let's start with the Lost and Found. This is the useful ambience setting. Lossy. And Mood. And so those ambient reverbs can be tweaked in different ways, and the Mood, for instance, you can hear a bit of that grainy texture. You can make that more prominent. And I like that, so I let that shine through on its example. So take that into consideration, that there's still more tweakability than I can even show you on each ambience, room, or creative setting. But let's get to a room setting on each. So let's dial it in together. Much more slappy. I love that. Let's try and dial one in here on the Lossy. Secondary function here is decay, so we'll shorten that up. Oh, that sounds really killer. Just a bit more decay, maybe. So it's darker than the Lost and Found, and you can't necessarily edit that out with the Lossy, so take that into consideration. But wow, that sounds really good. Sounds really good. Maybe a bit too much decay there. And this is something I'm really excited about, because if you turn back the modify, it's kind of like the smear on the mood. And then we'll turn down the time. It almost sounds springy, and I love that. Which, that's just so cool. Like, again, if you're using MIDI, you can get so much out of these Chase Bliss reverbs. I'll say that the Lossies is probably the least capable in some senses, but again, the uniqueness, if you like this style of it, it's a bit darker. It's a bit more again, it's a digital degradation pedal, so it's got that kind of feel to it, a 90s kind of feel to it. So let's just do a quick walkthrough of these room sounds. Just excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, now get to the fun part. We're going to add some other uniqueness to each of these sounds. So in the Lossy, I'm going to add Gen Light because I just can't help but do that. And we're going to go reverb into gen light, and here's what that sounds like. If you want to see a more comprehensive demo of the Lost and Found, I have a self-proclaimed great one on my channel, so go check that out. There's so much more involved in that pedal. And let's hop into the Lossy. So here's our reverb. I'm going to kick it up with a bigger reverb. So the global is kind of like the mix, but it works a little bit differently. But I'm going to turn up the speed and loss. Until we can hear it adequately. Kind of sounds like we're underwater. And then I can actually... One of the coolest features about this is a gated reverb. So if you see we have the light on, if I hold this down, it turns green, and that turns into a gated reverb. So, and again, the coolest part is that when it's starting to lose the amount of signal that it needs to cut it off, the gate, it doesn't just chop it off right away. It just digitally falls apart. And we can lower that threshold. Too much. And I'm going to use that sound with the slap mood actually just quickly because I really like it. And then we'll use it on its own for this experiment. So that will be what we use in the quick little shootout run through at the end. And let's pull up something unique on the mood. Just turning down the clock. Turning up the mix. Turning down the decay a little bit. It sounds so good. And here's a playthrough of all three of these sounds. I think I'm just going to make the Lost and Found a little bit bigger on this sound. Here we go. That's so cool. I love that. And gated reverb is kind of on the rise again. So, name a cooler gated reverb than that. It just sounds so good. And the dreamy, granular, lo-fi when you turn the clock down of the mood. You can already just barely hear the wind sound that the low clock makes. So good. It's gonna freak out because I moved the clock. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Gotta reset that. There we go. And like, that's a crazy amount of decay, and it's not even touching, like, just for curiosity's sake, here's max delay. Like, that's just never gonna stop. It even like a quarter is ambient on the mood, which is just amazing. So, like I said, I think if you have an ambient reverb on your pedal board or even a room, any of these could, in a unique way, which I think is neat, take the place of that and give you lots more experimentation abilities on your pedal board. So that's a little plug for experimental pedals that have really practical things about them. And I hope this helps you on your reverb journey. Pick, the one that most resonates with you. Make sure you stay tuned to the subscribers only second round conversation. Thanks. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the second round subscribers only conversation. Now, the subscribers only conversation is subscribers only. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button and you want to stick around for the conversation, go ahead and do that. That'd be much appreciated. Today's conversation is actually surrounding a theme that I notice when I listen to the Dipped in Tone podcast. Love the Dipped in Tone podcast. I never miss an episode. And one of the reasons why I'm on YouTube in the first place is because I wanted to get into the conversation on some of the things that I've been hearing, watching YouTube or podcasts. And so I'm super excited to be doing these conversational pieces at the end of each video. The topic is surrounding when they dip a rig at the end of each episode. If you haven't listened to the podcast, they comment on a subscriber's pedal board at the end of each episode. And the main topic is that they comment on guitars. So usually there's, 2 or 3 guitars sitting around the pedal board that they're commenting on. And that's part of the process to, talk about the guitars. And if there's a similar pickup configuration or multiple guitars that, the hosts feel as though cover the same ground, they usually say, hey, why don't you switch that up? Why don't you get something different to cover more ground, different ground? Which, again, I agree, and this is just my opinion that differs. So if I was sitting around the table at the conversation, this is what I would say. I don't think it's always important for all guitarists to need to purchase things to cover all ground. I think what the sound that gravitates towards you is the most important thing when you're considering what gear you want to buy. And I think that that will end up making you a more interesting and unique sounding player than trying to, cover all ground or feeling pressure as though you should be trying to cover all ground. I just think of all the guitarists that I really look up to, and of course they probably have lots of different, pickup configurations in their collections, but I can pinpoint a sound and a pickup to most of my favorite guitarists, and I think that makes it really unique. And when I'm looking for a different sound, or I can go to different pedal settings or that kind of stuff. But I just want to hear everybody else's opinion on whether you should be trying to cover all grounds with your pickup configuration, with your pedal selection, with your amp selection. Do you need multiple different amps to cover all grounds? Or is it just more important to go towards the things that, sound as though you hear your sound in your head and the things that you gravitate towards? So hit the comment section with your opinion on this take and we'll discuss.